Hello. Hi, everyone. Thank you so much for joining me. My name is Dion Johnson. I'm strategic ally and master coach to women in senior leadership all around the UK and internationally. And welcome to part 4 of my Facebook Live mini-series called Rethink Influence. As you join, I welcome you and I thank you. If you would just put your name and your where you're watching from in the chat box. Hi everyone, I can see that you're joining. Welcome, you're very welcome. So put your name in the chat box and let me know where you're watching from. Say hi so I can say hi back. It's so good to have you here. We're at part 4 of my mini series, my Facebook Live series called, sorry, someone just sent me a message, called Rethink Influence. And I'm making this series because, hey, Andrea, good to see you. Thank you for joining me. I'm making this series because it's time for this series, you know, that women in senior leadership are navigating choppy waters as we speak. It's turbulent. The marketplace is shifting and very dynamic. And I think the time has come for us as women in senior leadership to be thinking about who we are as women, why we're there in senior leadership, and what's it going to take to navigate these changing seasons and landscapes that we find ourselves in. So as you're joining, thank you so much for being with me. Put your name in the chat box and let me know where you're watching from. For those of you that don't know me, my name is Dion Johnson. I am a strategic ally and master coach to women in senior leadership. And I take that role very seriously. I'm very passionate, crazy passionate about helping women in leadership to up their influence so that they're seen, they're heard, and they're taken seriously by the people that they work with in their organizations, their industry, and yeah, even their world, right? So if that's you, welcome. And if it's not you, if you're not a woman in senior leadership, then welcome anyway. And I hope that you get something from this broadcast. Now, in part 1, this is part 4. So if you haven't watched the others, I really do strongly suggest that you go back and have a look at those. In part 1, we talked about the idea that your industry needs innovation, that we're at a time when the world is crying out for new solutions from the marketplace, new ideas, new approaches. And so your industry is part of that. Your industry, whether you're working in any of the 8 domains, your industry needs new approaches and new ideas. And so in part 2, we looked at the fact that you are an answer to that. You have the stuff that new ideas, innovation is made of. You have gifts, talents, insights, ideas. You have experiences, you have talents and gifts that all are part of the thing that's what makes up innovation. That's what makes innovative, creative solutions. So you are an answer. And then the third part of this, the third idea was that feminine has a function, that actually feminine is a really crucial, important, necessary, complementary partner to the masculine. And we looked at how the marketplace right now is a really masculine, goal-orientated, driven, target-led place. But that what it's really crying out for was feminine to come and balance that. Feminine to come and make it more successful, both because we need both. We need both the masculine and the feminine for the well-being of our organization, for the well-being and the greater good in our industries. Hi, Ito. Wow, it's great to see you here. Thank you for joining. So we're talking about this mini-series that I'm doing called Rethink Influence, and today is day 4. And part 3, we looked at feminine having a function, that it isn't just this sort of soft, lovely thing that is surplus to requirements, that feminine really is needed in our masculine workplace so that we can we can build well-being, not just within the organization, but outside in the way that the organization and the industry is affecting the world. So today I would want to jump in with idea number 4. And number 4 idea is that in is not the same as influential. What I mean by that is that just because women are now in the room, the boardroom, the decision-making room, around the table at board meetings and senior leadership team meetings, it doesn't mean that we're actually influencing that room. And that's a really important thing I think for us to consider. So here's the deal. So globally, 20%, just 20% of senior management is made up of women. And as the higher we go in senior leadership, in executive C-suite leadership, that number drops to just 10%. So it is a very slow process in our ascent to the senior leadership realms. But nonetheless, I want to celebrate that we're there. That, there isn't really a place where women aren't anymore. We might be few in numbers in the marketplace leadership, but we are there and we're growing in numbers. That's what the trends say anyway. And so the fact that we're there is worth celebrating. And I think that now that we're there, we need to take some of the ideas that we've been talking about in this series. The fact that we have gifts and talents, the fact that we are the stewards of the feminine. Not that men can't be feminine in nature, but that women are stewards. They're the natural ambassadors of feminine. And so we need more and more of us in the room. And as we're there, we need to be influencing the room from the feminine perspective and from the diverse perspective. So that's my question today. My question is, how do we begin to influence the marketplace, the masculine marketplace, from a diverse and feminine perspective? And of course, I'm going to present you with my take on that. Let me share with you my idea, my answer to how we bring feminine and diverse perspectives to the marketplace, to the boardroom, to the senior leadership teams that we are part of, is deep honor. Deep honor. I know that honor is a really old-fashioned word, but I'm on a mission to bring honor back to senior leadership. You see, I think it's the key to influencing our marketplace and senior leadership from a diverse and a feminine perspective, that we need to have deep honor in three particular areas. So let me go through this. We need to have deep honor for ourselves. You have to honor yourself. You have to confront your own biases about yourself. I call them identity crisis. So often in the work that I'm doing with senior leaders and even the journey that I've been on myself, I'm quite open about my journey and I'm proud to be a woman on this journey too. I haven't by any means arrived. I'm part of supporting a lot of women on this leadership journey. And what I realize is that there needs to be conscious address of the way that we honor ourselves, that we need to confront what we think about us. We need to confront how we talk to ourselves, about our worthiness to be in the room, about our worthiness as women and leaders and change makers, about who we think we are. There needs to be a deep honor of self. And, what I've noticed over the years on this journey myself and supporting other leaders is that oftentimes some of the things that we think are happening to us from the outside are actually happening from us, that we're generating the things that we think are happening to us. So I remember a woman saying, they just don't listen to me. My colleagues and my boss and my team, they just don't listen to me. But actually, what was happening when we uncovered it in coaching was she just wasn't listening to herself. She just wasn't honoring herself. So first of all, if we're going to be influencing from a diverse and feminine perspective, both individually and corporately, we have to begin to develop deep honor for ourselves. The second place that deep honor is needed is for other people. We have to develop a deep honor for others. I was thinking about this as I was putting these slides together for my notes, and I remember, like, I've seen it so often. There's so many stories of, I remember one woman in particular came to one of our coaching sessions, and we had been working on her struggles, her leadership struggles. She's a senior leader in education, and she was really struggling with her boss. And so it was really hampering her progress. It was hampering her influence. It was hampering the way that she was being seen, heard, and taken seriously in her role. And she came to one of the coaching sessions, and she sat down looking really sort of like she had a lot on her mind. And I said, what was happening? And she said that, her daughter, she's having some struggles at home with her daughter. Her daughter was going through adolescence, and she was really causing havoc in the home. Like, her daughter was going through adolescence, like, adolescent crisis, and it was really causing havoc in their home. So we spoke a bit about this, and I noticed how my client reframed it, or framed this. She said, but she is at that age, she said, she just needs, we're just really tiptoeing around her, giving her what she needs, giving her the space and the time and the affection that she needs to get this handled. I know that it's a phase she's going through. I know that she's growing, and, she needs compassion right now. So I said to her, and that's funny you should say that, because I was about to share with you that I think that's probably what's missing in your relationship with your boss. And she said, what do you mean? What do you mean? And I said, well, maybe your boss needs some compassion. Maybe he's going through a growth spurt, and he's on a journey too. And that instead of pointing the finger at what he's not doing for you in your role, how he's not being this, or he's not reaching the mark there, maybe he needs some compassion and some tiptoeing around, and maybe some leniency or some accommodating or tolerance right now. She couldn't see it. She was angry. Of course, she got to see it. But I'm telling that story as one of many stories that I see in the global marketplace, with my clients, and in the relationship with other people. There is this distinct lack of honor for others. I think it's really important that we seek to understand. We seek to understand where the other people are coming from, with deep honor as our intention, to be seeking where they're coming from. If we are going to influence from a diverse, individual, and feminine perspective, we have to master the art of developing deep honor for others. What do you think about that? Yeah, Andrea's saying so true. Hi, Ita. Thank you so much for being here, everyone. I just want you to put your name in the box and tell me where you're watching from. We're talking about the fact that when you're in the room as a senior leader, doesn't mean that you're influencing the room. And there's a need for us to influence from a deeply feminine, deeply diverse individual perspective. So that's what we're looking at today. And we've looked at two places where deep honor is due. Deep honor of yourself, deep honor of others. And the third place that deep honor is required to be developed is deep honor of the mission. Let me tell you, we've got to stop playing these games. We've got to get into perspective what work is really all about, what leadership is about, what the organization is about, and what senior leadership is about. It's really about a mission. Remember the mission? So many people are go to work, approach leadership, approach relationships in senior leadership, completely disengaged and disconnected from the reason that you're all together in the first place. It starts to become a kind of one-upmanship game. So here's the thing I've noticed. I've noticed how, I'm talking about myself and my clients and what I've seen as I coach and I'm around and I associate with women in senior leadership. I noticed that there's a way that we can have where we kind of learn social etiquette. We learn professional etiquette. So we turn up and we have the demeanor and the face and the dress and the image of one who is professionally engaged, one of influence, one of, part of the culture, right? But behind the scenes, we're looking at that other person thinking, I'll show you, or yeah, I don't like you, or I'm not going to let you get one up on me. It's like one-upmanship games. We're playing games. And so often, this game playing in relationships where we see someone, we see ourselves above someone, or we see ourselves beneath someone, we're just not communicating as equals, as honoring, respectful equals. And so what happens is that just becomes the game. That's what we're going to work challenging and we're going around games with each other rather than a real clear focus on the mission. Now, if you dig out your mission statement, perhaps you've got a mission statement of your own, a personal, ongoing mission statement for your work life. But your organization certainly will. Your organization will have a mission statement. And somewhere in the mission statement, it will have something to do with well-being, not only of the people that are in the organizations, but the way that the organization affects outside, affects the world, affects the people that it serves. And it will have something about the greater good, that it will have an aspiration to be good for people, to be good for the people that it serves, the people that work in the organization. And so if we're going to be influencing, if you and I are going to be influencing from a diverse and a feminine perspective, we have to go back. We have to go back to embracing deep honor for the mission and getting really, really grounded in that. I really believe that it is time. I know you want to be seen. I know you want to be heard. I know you want to be taken seriously. I know you want to do something worthwhile. I know you want to go to work, enjoy work, feel alive at work, be doing things that matter. And I think the way to do that, the way to unlock that, rather than striving to make them honor you, striving to make them respect you and hear you and see you, I think the focus needs to be taken away from trying to make it happen to deep honor for these three areas. I believe it's the key. It undergirds everything that I do with my clients. It undergirds all of my curriculums, all of my work, because I've come to understand that when we develop deep honor for ourselves first, for others too, and for the mission, this is the ingredients. This is the formula that unlocks you as a powerful, powerful influencer in your industry. So today, I know I've been asking you questions at the end of each of my sessions, but today I want you to review your allegiance to honoring yourself, honoring others that you work with, that you serve, and honoring the mission that you're all together, after all, to make happen. Will you do that? I cannot wait to hear how you're getting on. I know that if you do with any ounce of commitment, turn your attentions to developing deep honor in these three areas, then you will by default become seen, heard, and taken seriously as the woman of influence that you are in that position to be. Let me see if there are any comments. Let me see what you're saying. What do you think about all this? So Angela Rose, yes, you're talking about abusing power in leadership. Some have no honor of self, no honor in their lives. So you're absolutely right. You're saying the same things that I'm saying, Angela. And what I would say is, Angela from KC, hi, Angela. Listen, what I would say is that it has to start with you. It has to start, this deep honor and compassionate for yourself and for others and for the mission has to start with yourself. So if you can see it in others, I had a coach once who told me that if you can see it, if you can spot it, you got it. Yes, Sue Knight, the lady who taught me all I know about NLP, she taught me if you can spot it, you got it. So if you can see this happening in other people, then chances are you'll be able to find it in yourself. You can start to handle it in yourself, and that in effect will have an impact on other people. It will make you more influential. So I completely hear you. I know what it's like to be on the butt end of that. But there's a saying that they that know better do better. And as you handle this in your own leadership and your own life, it will have an impact on those that you are leading and being led by. I promise. Thank you for your contribution, Angela. Totally agree about honouring and very much needed in the marketplace. Ito, yeah, I know that you understand the principle of honour, and it is absolutely, it resonates with your current organisation. So I tell you, I've been around this block. I know marketplace leadership. I know what it is. I know senior leadership, and I know what it is to be a woman navigating her way in this domain. And I've coached women from all industries, from each of the 8 domains. I've coached women leading in those domains. And I can tell you, everyone comes thinking it's different in my industry. No. This is a common leadership thing. And I think the common leadership response needs to be deep honour for self, for others, and for the mission. These 3 focuses will work in your industry, will work in your leadership, will work in your teams. I can't tell you how enthusiastic I am about this. Let's see what else you're saying. Loving the interaction. Thank you for commenting, everyone. Yeah, thank you. Thank you, Angela. We are the change we want to see. Absolutely. We must, all of this. I think there's an inner game to influence. There's an inner game to influence. So I know that when you go to normal, conventional leadership training, they tell you how to shake hands, or they tell you how to dress, or how to stand, or, how to use your voice, or how to behave so that you are seen as influential. But let me tell you, it's my strongest conviction that you are a woman of influence. You are influential. It's your identity. Influential is your identity. And if influence isn't going your way, if people are not responding to your ideas and your projects and your insights, if people are not responding, it means that there's something affecting the way that you are being, because you are influence. And so it has to start with your inner game. It has to start with your thoughts about you. It has to start with the way that you think about yourself and other people and the mission. It's crucial to unlocking the inner influences that you're already equipped to influence this world, your industry, your department, the people that you work with. You're already equipped to influence. And now there's a key that unlocks that. And I think it's called deep honour. What do you think? I can't wait to see how this, if you haven't watched part 1, 2, and 3, go ahead and do that. There'll be another part tomorrow. But I really want you to just be musing on these ideas, musing on how they affect you, answering the questions for yourself. Perhaps get a journal, start writing your responses to these broadcasts, and thinking about who you are as a woman of influence and how you can begin to influence in greater ways to encourage well-being and the greater good in your sphere of influence. That's what this is all about for me. I've really, really enjoyed being with you. I've really enjoyed reading your comments. I've got a feeling that some of the comments come up after I've ended the broadcast. But thank you so much for your comments. Thank you for saying hi. If you're watching on the rebroadcast, still go ahead and comment. Let me know what you're thinking about this issue, that in the room is not the same as influencing the room. I see a comment from you, Ito, saying that it's gone. Agree. As women, we bring something to the marketplace that the marketplace needs. Absolutely. We are, as women, we bring life. This is what I think it means to be feminine. We bring life. We bring and nurture life. That's who we are. We're designed, we're built to bring life to situations, bring life to things, bring life to circumstances, bring life. I think that's what we do as women. Secondly, we are able to connect powerfully and deeply with illogical, unseen data. We're able to connect with another realm. We're able to connect with unseen and make it meaningful in the seen. That's what I think we bring as women in leadership. That's what I think it means to be feminine. And I think that we have a knack for making things better. So in opposed to being faster, bigger, higher, very masculine, driven, going forward, I think that what we have as feminine, stewards of the feminine, is a capacity to make things better quality, better experience, better for the greater good, better. And so that's what I think it means to be feminine. So I'd be really interested in you watching part 3. Go ahead and watch part 3 of this series and let me know what you think it means to be feminine and what do you think it means to be influencing the room rather than just in it as women and leaders and change makers. When I was thinking about this today, I was thinking about all the stuff that I've had to learn how to honor about myself. I've had to learn how to honor being a woman, how to learn how to honor being Dion with this funny face. And, all of the stuff that's happened with me. I've had to honor, I've learned how to unpack it and learn how to honor it. I've had to learn how to honor being a woman because it hasn't always been a positive thing for me to be a woman. I've had to learn how to honor that. I've had to learn how to honor being a black woman. I've had to learn how to honor being black. And that is a process. You have to find out what it is that you have to honor about yourself. What is it that you have to come to terms with, what you have to face up to and learn how to have compassion and honor for it so that you can show up and influence like you can, like you were born to, like it's time for you to. But I'm getting into tomorrow, so I'm definitely going now and I'll see you tomorrow, okay? Thank you so much for joining me and see you tomorrow.